This for sure would have made my top 10.
I could have been a contender.
Yeah.
Adrian!
Drive-by movies, you're watching
Fresh releases.
My name's Blaise.
And I'm James.
And this week, we're talking the film A Different Man.
So I'm the idolized version of Oswald?
It's kind of brilliant seeing you who looks like you, but you're not yourself.
Let's just all start being honest with ourselves, old friend.
Coming off Sebastian Stan's Golden Globe win, we finally checked out A Better Man. It's about an aspiring actor named Edward who undergoes a radical medical procedure to drastically transform his appearance. But his new dream face quickly turns into a nightmare as he loses out on the role he was born to play and becomes obsessed with reclaiming what was lost. So this is a movie that, Sebastian Stan was nominated for an Oscar for The Apprentice, playing Donald Trump. But didn't get a nomination for A Better Man, or not A Better Man, A Different Man. Sorry, there's too many man movies out these days, I guess. But during his acceptance speech for Golden Globes, he brought up how The Apprentice was being forgotten about, and congrats Sebastian Stan on being in two great movies that were worth being nominated for. But you made Oscars, you made a mistake on nominating him for The Apprentice. I've seen that. Here's my mini review. Meh, doesn't have that much to say, and everyone's giving critical praise to Jeremy Strong, which is well deserved, but just he's the one who steals the show in a movie about Donald Trump. And so I think this movie was much better. I'm so glad we watched it, because this is a movie I probably never would have watched. I was kind of turned off by the fact that he gets a surgery to kind of forgotten about, and then that's what I thought the movie was, just his life after getting into surgery. And this movie goes into some dark humor territory, as well as just being sad and depressing, and some great performances all around. I absolutely love this movie. What are your thoughts coming out of it?
So yeah, this movie was definitely a sleeper pick. I feel like it came out in a really crowded time. I think it got in theaters, I think it was early November, late October, and that was kind of a really packed time with so many movies coming out. I mean, we watched Anora on this show, and there were a lot of other movies that were kind of flooding theaters, and I did feel like there was kind of a dry spell before Christmas, and I feel like this was right before that dry spell. But yeah, I have to say that this movie is really impressive. It's available on Max now, which is how we checked it out. But yeah, it was definitely one that I didn't really see coming at all. And it was kind of so impressive to see Adam Pearson again, because he was such a pivotal force in Under the Skin. And when he came onto the stage in that film, he took the world by storm. And it feels like it took so long for him to get a film where he's a lot more of a presence in. And this one definitely doesn't underutilize him. He's such a strong performance in this movie. And somebody that, we've seen most of his kind of indie darlings, Sebastian Stan, on the show. We watched Fresh and what was the other? Oh, I guess you watched Apprentice. But wasn't there another one he did that was kind of like an indie movie, or...
So we actually didn't check out Fresh. I still have yet to see that movie, but I know I heard great things. I think we've mentioned Pam and Tommy here on the show. I'm not sure if you ever got around to watching that miniseries. But Sebastian Stan, he's known for being the Winter Soldier, and that's all I've really seen him in other than Pam and Tommy. But just seeing these two movies within a 1 month span is different for me, because he's an actor I wasn't really aware of. And now that I've seen him in these roles, it's weird seeing all these actors struggle after, finishing their segment of the MCU, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, they've kind of struggled and now they're going back to that world, versus Sebastian Stan is still in that world. He's got an upcoming Defenders movie, I think it's called. Sorry, I'm probably wrong with that title, or Thunderbolts, that's what that's called. And then, he also had his own Disney Plus show with the Falcon. But now, seeing him do these two, maybe not indie movies, but lower budget, small distributor movies, and really standing out amongst, some of his peers that make way more money than him probably. But yeah,
I think that he was really impressive in this. I thought that this was a role that was kind of bizarre. He starts the movie with these crazy prosthetics on, and Like they look pretty good. They look pretty good, honestly. It looks close. Like at first I hadn't seen Adam Pearson for a while. I honestly thought it was him, and it took me a moment to realize, like, oh, that's Sebastian Stan, like kind of playing that, having that same kind of disfigurement. He's embodying this character so well, and it's cool to see his character arc throughout the movie and how it kind of devolves from, you know, wanting to be kind of, I guess, like everyone else. And I mean, obviously once he goes through this procedure and he kind of unveils like the true Sebastian Stan underneath, it couldn't get better than that. Let's be honest here. Like if you're gonna, you know, change your looks and you're gonna look like a leading man like Sebastian Stan, I think that could be the best possible case. But you know, emotionally he's not that same guy. And when Adam Pearson's character is kind of comes into the film, and he's just this guy that's incredibly likable, everyone kind of loves this guy, and he just has that, you know, personality that's so charismatic and everyone's drawn to. And Sebastian Stan kind of like resents that and almost wants that and is jealous and kind of wondering like if it was his like procedure that, you know, really did he benefit from the changing of his physical appearance. And yeah, I thought this film was really impressive. It was enjoyable. It's billed as a dark comedy. I think it is a pretty dark comedy, but I would say it's a little bit more subtle than other dark comedies.
Right, yeah, like because I know it was nominated for Best Picture, I believe, in the comedy or musical section. I know that's also where Sebastian Stan won his award. Versus like, I never liked the separation of those two things where there's drama as well as comedy or musical, just because there's a lot of like movies put into the wrong segment at times. And this movie, even though it's got its comedic moments, I'd still overall label it as a comedy, or as a drama, I mean. But where the comedy does come in is because I went into this movie expecting this play to kind of be the plot of the movie. And, you know, it's funny because they're making fun of it. And then, you know, like minor spoilers, but towards the end, they make a joke of what the play was and its overall meaning. But, you know, they're thankful for what it brought them in the end. But so I was just cracking up just the way they approached a subject matter like this, you know, utilizing Adam Pearson just so well as this character Oswald. And, you know, it's like, you know, there's so much to like, you know, support, but also like be like, oh, you're going about this incorrectly, and just approaches it in just a comedic tone, which just works very well. And definitely like one of the, even though it's like not a movie that's meant for everyone, I'm glad A24 made this movie like pretty like digestible to any kind of audience for the most part.
This is one of those A24 movies that kind of, it feels like, I don't know if it's like you know how they have their like darlings, and then they have the ones where they're like easily trying to like, they know this is like a billable talent star and that they can cash out. This kind of feels like it's a throwback. They loved working with Adam Pearson and Under the Skin, and they kind of like throwing him another bone. And I think that if anything, like, I know Sebastian Stan was really impressive in this movie. And even, we didn't mention, I think it's Renee I'm gonna butcher her name, but like who plays Ingrid, the worst person in the world. Like, I thought that she was also really fun in this movie. I don't think I've even seen anything after The Worst Person in the World, so like it was good to see her again. I honestly thought she was a different actress at first. It took me a while to connect because I think that's been 2 years since that movie. So
yeah, this is my live reaction to finding out that was her. Like, oh my gosh, she looks so different. I mean, I knew she looked familiar watching the movie. I was just like, where have I seen her in? But I can't think of anything that I have seen her in. There we go, The Worst Person in the World. Haven't seen it in the last 2 years, but that was one of the better movies from 2 years ago. But yeah, she was fantastic in this movie, playing this person that's not that like overall has good intentions throughout the movie, but frustrates you as an audience member. And yeah, there's just a lot of different like emotions that came out of me while watching this movie, and that's what made me excited. Like, this for sure would have made my top 10 if I got to check it out, but you know, it's a movie that I'm glad I did for the like I'm thankful for this show, because it's a movie that easily would have went under my radar and I would have overlooked it. And you know, because we're reviewing it here, I'm like astonished and now like highly recommending it for audiences.
Definitely, it helps us kind of get out, I wouldn't say comfort zone, but it helps us watch at least 54 or 52 extra movies a year that we wouldn't necessarily watch.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, I'd have to say if you're looking for a movie that's made the Oscar list, but or wait, no, this didn't actually make, or no, it did, right? Or no?
It made a couple lists,
right?
I believe, but not a lot though. Yeah.
Okay, it did say Oscar nominee on Max, I think. So I need to double check that list, but it's not called Emilia Perez, so I wasn't sure if it made the Oscars nominations or not. But yeah, I'd say check this out. It's on Max, easily available. Highly recommend this movie.
Yeah, great way to help support the show. Watch it through Max, so that's how we watched it. Leave a comment down below, let us know how you felt about it. Also, watch it through our Amazon affiliate link in our description box below, because that's a great way to help support the show.
And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and click that notification bell to get all of our latest updates.
And speaking of updates, catch all our social media links down below for Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, as well as our own Letterboxd accounts. That'll conclude this week's episode. Tune in next week for a brand new video.